All right, hello gamers, Munklick here. Today is another day where I have done an episode of I Tried. I started to go into the wrong intro there, not important. Today we tried out the Heal Amalgam, which is something that is made possible by the release of Visions of Eternity. In the beta for Visions of Eternity, it wasn't really a thing, but they gave it some changes, and now with the full release of VOE, Heal Amalgam was born. So, really quickly, let's go over the kit and what I was using for the testing of this. We have got a full set of Harrier's gear with Runes of the Monk. Got 3 pieces of Givers here, just for a little bit of tankiness. We have got a short bow with Paralyzation and Transference on it, and it is also Givers. You notice I've got another weapon set here, but Engineer cannot weapon swap in combat, so just ignore that. I was using the short bow the whole time. Then this is the build I was doing. You could see this stuff easily enough, and then for the Amalgam stuff up here, I took Pierce, Cleanse, and Thorns. Now, how does this work? So first off, I'm gonna play it for a few seconds on the dummy, just to show that I have the barest of idea of what I'm talking about, and then we are going to jump into it. So I'm going to do this, and then this, and then this, and do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and we're going to hit these buttons, and we're going to hit them so hard, and then we can even throw some mortar kits in here, and okay, and then boom. All right, so look at all these lovely boons. Prot, Fury, Regen, Vigor, Swiftness, Aegis, because why not? 25 Might, Alacrity, and again, Quickness is coming from the console to pretend I'm grouping with someone that gives Quickness. So, how does this work? What does it do? So, the Amalgam, if you take different morph skills up here, they normally buff this skill Evolve. And when you use Evolve, all the morph skills kick in. Unless you take this Grandmaster trait, where morph skills grant boons to allies, and also this one, where Evolve no longer inherits bonuses from strains, and the morph skills do their strains themselves. So instead of hitting Evolve to trigger those things, you just hit those things to trigger those things. And new genes is Alacrity every time you hit one of those buttons. All these buttons are a 20-second cooldown, and new genes with concentration gives close to 12 seconds of Alacrity. So 12 seconds every 20 seconds, you're gonna need to keep 2 of these 3 on cooldown to keep Alacrity up. Now, Defensive Protocol Thorns is instant cast stability for your party, also very spiky. Okay, so I chose to keep that one not on cooldown so that I had stability on demand for my group. I did this one on cooldown, which did do Aegis, so I was throwing an Aegis out just every 20 seconds. And then this one on cooldown, which did Vigor, and it also did a stun. And the stun would trigger Relic of the Midnight King. I don't know if I ever mentioned I'm using Relic of the Midnight King. Every time we do a CC, we give Fury and Might to our party. So I was keeping those 2 on cooldown and saving this for when I needed to give the group stability. In short bow, I was keeping the 4, 2, and 5 on cooldown. The 4 helps with prot uptime. The 2 helps with might uptime and does some barrier. And the 5 is a CC, which would trigger Relic of the Midnight King. The 3 I would save if I needed to do a bunch of healing or condition cleanse. Going to medkit, we want to keep the 5 on cooldown. It does swiftness, vigor, and regen on the party. It's just a buff bomb. It has the exact same cooldown as the 2 defensive protocols. So I would typically do those and immediately swap to medkit and do the 5, and I would know that right after doing those, the 5 would be available again. I would just sync those up. Then I would go to Elixir Gun, and you want to keep the 5 and the 4 on cooldown. The 5 helps with might and does healing and cleansing in an area. The 4 helps with might and does damage in an area. Really quick engineer tip, when you use the 4, it sends you flying backwards. If you hit weapon swap, it stops your backward movement. I don't know why, but if you do this, see, I hit weapon swap. Did you notice I was arcing and then I just went straight down? I hit weapon swap right there. So you can do 5-4 weapon swap and immediately just drop to the ground and not go flying really far away from your group. Then we've got some flex slots here. I had Throw Mine, Bomb Kit, and Mortar Kit, but you can put whatever you want there. So Throw Mine helps with CC and removes boons on enemies. Bomb Kit, the 3, 4, and 5 are all CC. And the 4 is an AoE pull. I never really had to use it for that today, but it's a big magnet and it pulls things together. So if I needed to CC, I could use like Throw Mine, Bomb Kit, 3, 4, 5, and it was a lot of CC. Mortar Kit, the 5 is another healing option. This is a healing field, and then of course, the Mortar Kit has tons of fields that you can play with. So if you were ever idle, you could just go Mortar Kit and just start firing fields like crazy. But again, it's important to note these 2 are flexible. Additionally, you could swap the Mortar Kit out for Flux State, which is mainly a DPS move, but it also is a pull around you. It's the Amalgam skill. It does this and it pulls in enemies. However, it's such a short range, I don't honestly feel like it's worth giving up Mortar Kit, because you could just use the Magnet Bomb for that, but it's there if you want it. Other elites that are from the Amalgam kit is Solid State, but that only gives you stability, not the party. Liquid State, which is a evade, so it's a survival skill. Gaseous State, which is movement skill, and Plasmatic State, which is a DPS thing. It's also worth noting that if you use Solid State, outgoing stuns that you do are stronger for 5 seconds, so you could bring Solid State and then go Bomb Kit, and then, you know, it will increase the strength of the CCs. But for the most part, this stuff isn't huge for a support. It's mostly DPS stuff, and you're not going to use the Amalgam heal skill because you're playing support with this build, and the Med Kit is just too dang good. You're not going to give that up. So, it can do heals, it can do the boons, it has got stability on demand. You could even, like, delay using Defensive Protocol Cleanse or Essence of Liquid Wrath to have Aegis on demand. How did it do? Fine? It did fine. We did all of the daily strikes, which included Harvest Temple and Bone Skinner today. I was with a pug, and we got it done. And on Bone Skinner, I felt like I had more than enough healing for the damage that hammers the room. The only people that went down state were ones that didn't move out of puddles fast enough, and we managed to save them. But it wasn't like, it did not feel like a healing issue. However, I don't really know what this brings that its competitors don't bring. And I'll give you some examples. So this is Heal Amalgam. The Engineer can also be a Heal Scrapper or a Heal Mechanist. However, Heal Mechanist also provides Alacrity. So Heal Mechanist provides Alacrity and Heal Amalgam provides Alacrity. So let's just compare those two. Heal Scrapper and Mechanist both can do projectile block. They can make a big dome that protects their party from bullets. This guy can't. Scrapper has Function Gyro that can go out and revive people. This guy doesn't have that. Mechanists can constantly put barrier on their teammates, effectively increasing their maximum health by up to 50%. So a teammate with 20k health would have 30 with barrier. A teammate with 30k health, which that's, you know, like a necro or something, they would have 45k with barrier, right? That is very powerful, having 50% more, up to 50% more health. This guy has a little bit of barrier on the 2, and that's it. That's it right there, 2,500. So we don't have a revive skill. We don't have a projectile block. We don't have, you know, barrier spam that Mechanist has. What do we have? We've got the same boons as those other two. We've got Alacrity on demand, just like the Mechanist does. We do have stability on a shorter cooldown. So if you use the F4 for stability, that's 8 seconds of stability with a 20-second cooldown. But Crisis Zone, the stability button on Mechanist, which, hold on, I can swap builds here. Crisis Zone has a 30-second cooldown. So you do have access to stability slightly more often. Yeah, someone in chat pointed out Scrapper also has Perma Super Speed. So this is not bad. This is able to get the job done. It has boons, it has enough healing, it has a sizable amount of CC, but so do all of the other Engineer Elite specs. Unless I'm missing something, and which I could be, I played it for a day, I don't really see anything this brings to the table that the others don't do better. It's absolutely viable. I think that this could heal a group through 99% of the content in the game, like everything except maybe like the hardest stuff, and it would be totally fine. So if you just really like this, that's totally fine. Another thing, Evolve, which is supposed to be like the main thing for Amalgam, which makes your skin and for some reason the crotch of my pants metallic. Evolve doesn't really do anything for the support. It's a 10% stat increase, so I guess your heals would be slightly stronger for 8 seconds, but that's it. I forgot I had Evolve for a while because it's really kind of a non-thing. But yeah, it's solid. It can do what needs to be done. It has more CC than many supports. It has all the required boons. It has the boons on demand that you would want. It has ample healing. It just kind of feels like the competitors within its own class do it better, to me. That's what it feels to me. Another note that I just thought of is very low damage. The last I tried that I did was I tried Heal Writ, which was doing like 5k while it was DPSing, and this was like 1 to 2. So that's often not an issue. But for example, when we were fighting Whisper of Jormag today, there was the moment where we all got split and put into separate rooms, and it felt like it took me forever to kill my clone to get out of the room just because I was playing this guy. And there are many supports that have very low damage, but it's worth taking into consideration. So yeah, I think that's it. It's not bad. I really want to stress that. It's not bad if you join a group for anything short of like challenge mode Ceres or something, and that you've got to heal Amalgam. It's fine. You know, again, I was able to heal Bone Skinner without a sweat. Like, it was fine. It was not an issue. It has got ample cleansing, ample healing. It's got all the boons. It's got the tools for the job. It just, to me, feels like that, you know, Mechanist and Scrapper do it a little bit better. But what do you think? I played it for a day. As always, I'm willing to accept critique. I'm wondering if there is something I missed. I would, like, for example, the projectile block. I was scouring through everything. I'm like, is there one in here somewhere? And I couldn't find one. Like, Mechanist has the barrier signet. Scrapper has the dome that's attached to the tool belt of Bulwark Gyro, but I couldn't find anything for this one. But yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts on Heal Amalgam. Absolutely can get the job done. Just feels like it slightly falls short of its brothers and sisters. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will fight you there.